Now, in what's brewing today, supply chain startup Wheelocity, which is building a semi-urban commerce platform for India's next 800 million consumers, has raised $15 million in funding led by existing investor Lightspeed with participation from Alteria Capital, Anicut Capital and the company's founder. The fresh funds are going to help the company expand to 20,000 towns and villages in the next year, targeting a user base of 10 million consumers. For more on how this capital is going to support their expansion plans, joining me now is Selvam VMS, who is the founder and CEO of Wheelocity, and also with me is my colleague Arundhati. Selvam, welcome to Startup Street. Thanks very much for your time here. Briefly start by telling us about this $15 million funding that you've got. How much of this is from the founders, and how exactly do you plan to deploy this for growth?
So, as you know, we've raised a total of $15 million. Part of it, a small portion of it is from the founders. A large portion of it is from investors, existing and new investors alike. And the primary use of these funds is it's going to help us expand from about 3,500 towns and villages that we service today to north of 20,000 towns and villages that we intend to service over the course of the next 12 months. So a large portion of the funds is going to go towards expansion, while a significant portion of it will also go towards strengthening our Bharat first technology and supply chain stack.
Absolutely. And speaking about that, right, commerce companies are increasingly looking at the Bharat opportunity for their next leg of growth, right, Selvam? So what is the size of the commerce opportunity in India's semi-urban and rural markets, according to you? And given its highly fragmented and unorganized nature, in a sense, how much of the market can you really capture?
India's semi-urban and rural markets, or what we call as the Bharat market, is north of $1 trillion in size, right? And yes, the challenges are true. The market is fragmented, demand is fragmented, supply chain is a challenge there, technology adoption is a challenge there. But hey, that's what makes this business even more attractive and a larger moat to build in, right? Yes, a significant portion of this market is addressable, right? And addressable in a profitable way. Provided we get the tech stack and the supply chain stack Bharat first. And that's what we are building. We are building a semi-urban commerce platform that not only embraces fragmented demand, but actually thrives in it. A supply chain and a technology stack that addresses this beautifully, both through high frequency and through a very hybrid offline-online phygital approach.
Well, Selvam, we'll get to that model very briefly, but we understand you're also looking to go beyond groceries and fresh produce into non-food FMCG items. What are the plans there, and what kind of additional revenue do you think this will generate for business?
The markets that we are going after, the Bharat market, is fundamentally deprived for access across categories, and it's not restricted to fresh produce and grocery alone, right? So yes, at this point of time, we are in grocery and fresh produce, but we have plans to expand across categories into non-food FMCG as well in the days to come. The consumers that we are servicing, the close to 1 million households that we currently service, we see significant upside in expanding our categories beyond the grocery and F&B space.
So you're looking to expand beyond that, but let's also talk about your presence, right? Wheelocity is now present in about 3,500 towns and villages, and you also claim to have served over 1 million consumers. Now, with this capital, you want to get to 20,000 towns and villages. What will help you achieve this scale and get to that, sort of 10x the number of customers in just a year?
It's the combination of great supply chain capabilities that we have built and built on top of a great Bharat first technology stack, right? One of the ways in which we've been able to, and the reason we've been able to scale our business so fast and in a value accretive way, in a profitable way, is thanks to the great Bharat first technology stack that we have built, both in terms of consumer adoption, in terms of channel partner onboarding, in terms of the routing algorithms that we have in place, built on top of a beautiful supply chain stack that is not only the lowest cost, but also is extremely high on frequency, thereby building great trust amongst the consumers that we service. So it's great supply chain capability built on top of scalable technology that's helped us scale so fast. And that's what's going to take us on our next 10x leap as well.
Selvam, quickly, since we're running out of time, you've had quite the pivot from B2B to now looking at consumer commerce as well in your phygital approach. Tell us about this strategy, how quickly you're able to convert physical shoppers to online ones, especially when you talk about rural, semi-urban areas, and how you're able to compete with the likes of Swiggy and Zepto?
We operate in a very different market, right? We operate beyond the top 200 cities of India, right? And the reason we've been successful at what we've been doing is the phygital approach, like you called out, right? We build trust with our consumers through the physical layer by being in their town, in their village, every single day of the week. And then very soon, once the trust bridge is crossed, we are able to migrate our customers into the online platform or the e-commerce ordering mechanism, right? So we've repeatedly been able to prove that our customers are willing to move provided the trust bridge is crossed. And that's the foundation on which we've built our supply chain stack.
All right. And, Selvam, in like 30 seconds, if you could answer, what kind of revenues and profits is the company generating, and at what pace is business growing for you?
We are growing at a massive pace. We've literally grown at albeit on a small base, we've grown at 100x growth over the last 6 months. And we are now looking at a 6x sort of a jump over the next 12 months. We're not getting to revenue and profitability numbers at this point of time, but suffice to say, we are on a massive expansion journey.
Well, Selvam, we're going to have to leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time here today on CNBC TV 18. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.